All right, Shalom. This is Zariah Munya Sharala out of GMS Lions Den. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. A double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. A sincere water to the Akim and Aquathium and the children who's believing and pushing the truth and sincerity. I want to get to my lesson about Babylon. We live in Babylon, so we have to make sure that the spirit of Babylon doesn't come upon us. You got to keep in mind, remember the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. When you do that, it's like it. The way you do that, this is James chapter 1, verse 19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. So let every man be swift to hear. So if you hear somebody talking about, if you at work, you hear somebody talking about the scriptures, don't just butt in, because you know some scriptures, but at the same time you don't know what they know, and at the same time just be swift to hear. Listen to what they're talking about, so that way you can come in at the right time, or you can look for your opportunity to go in at the right time. Be slow to speak. So be swift to hear and slow to speak. So that means just wait out your opportunity to talk. Slow to wrath. So don't be so emotional. Don't be so emotional, whether it be everyday life out on the highways and byways, because these demons, they feed off that. They feed off our energy. That's the whole reason of approaching us. They feed off our energy. And I got a precept to that, going off what I just said. So I'm 2 Timothy. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So when you do find the right opportunity to go in and speak, you got to make sure that you're speaking on things that you studied upon and that you're solid in. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed. Because you believe in Yahweh Shem Shai, you know that you're a true Israelite. So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Israelites that the Bible speak of. When you know that you're an Israelite, you know Yahweh Shem Shai, Yahweh Shem Shai is, you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are and for what you believe in. Rightly dividing the word of truth. So like going back on the if you hear somebody at work talking about the scripture, rightly dividing the word of the truth. This is verse 16. But shun profane and vain babbling, for they increase unto more ungodliness. So if you talk about something that you don't really have knowledge in, you're just gonna start talking about nothing. You're just gonna start babbling, and you're just gonna start increasing into more ungodliness. So you got to make sure that you stay tip top on that, I should say. I'm gonna go to Sirach. Bear with me. Get a Sirach, chapter 20. Sirach, chapter 20. All right, Sirach, chapter 20, verse 5. There is one that keepeth silence and is found wise, and another by much babbling becometh hateful. Because if you're at work, you're going to hate the people who talk a lot, especially if they talk about nothing. At least if they're talking about something worth listening to, you can kind of stand it. But if they just talk about nothing, just babbling, you start to hate them because they're always babbling and talking. Some man holdeth his tongue because he hath not to answer. So if you don't got nothing to say, shut up. in layman terms. And some keepeth silence, knowing his time. So some men, they're quiet because they honestly don't know, so they listening, which is good to be swift to hear. And some men, they're quiet because they know the answer to it, but they just wanna wait for the right time to speak. Speaking of which, a wise man will hold his tongue till he see opportunity. Con. So when you swift to hear and you understand what they're saying and you know the answer, all you got to do now is just wait for the opportunity to just come in, and if they speaking lies and vanity, just come in and cut that all down. But a babbler and a fool will regard no time. Con. So if you don't know, if you ain't in the Kool-Aid, I mean, like, don't know the flavor type, John, you got no place in that type of conversation. So it's best to just stay out of it. But a foolish babbler, he gonna come in being foolish and babbling, just talking and being foolish. So you always got to remember to keep your mind on Yahweh Shem Yahushua and not let the spirit of Babylon confuse you. Like, because that's what Babylon means, confusion. So you have to make sure that the spirit of Babylon doesn't come upon you, because it's been embedded in us to be confused. Ever since they so-called let us off slavery, we've been confused. We're in this strange wilderness. We don't know who we are, don't know where to go, don't know what to do. So we made up our own stuff, which is just more confusion. Easter Bunny lays eggs. That don't make sense. Fat white dude comes to your chimney at night, gives you presents across the whole entire world. That don't make sense. Plus, for the people who, like, I grew up without a chimney, so I'm always thinking how he gonna get presents, how he gonna give us presents, but breaking and entering type junk. So it's just a whole bunch of confusion in Babylon, and you just have to make sure not to be confused at times. I mean, at times you will be confused, but you have to make sure that Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's always gonna be there to guide you. All right, I want to go to Sirach 32. It's Sirach 32, chapter 8. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth and yet holdeth his tongue. So you just got to keep it short and sweet. Technically, you just keep it, not technically, but that's what it is. Keep it short and sweet. You don't want to go into over explaining things, because when you over explain, when somebody over explains to me, it makes me feel like they think I'm stupid, because it doesn't take, like, I can catch on to things pretty quick. But when you over explain things, it just kind of messes up the mood. I'm gonna go to Proverbs chapter 10. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 13. Excuse me. Slack. In the lips of him that hath understanding, wisdom is found. So when you have knowledge, understanding, and truth, wisdom will be found when you speak. So if you're a person who speaks all the time, but you have wisdom, knowledge, and truth and understanding, everything that you speak is going to be wisdom, hopefully. And if you don't speak a lot, but yet you have knowledge, wisdom, and truth, everything that you say is going to be wisdom. But a rod, is for the back of him that is void of understanding. So if somebody lacks understanding, that's why we still get whoopings. Your parents will tell you something, and they'll tell you to do something. If you didn't do it, or if you did do it, they'll give you a whooping. So they will put a rod to your back, or usually it was a belt, switch, whatever you got whooped with. They'll put a rod to your back, and in hopes that you will understand, because if them speaking it to you, you didn't understand. So now they have to give you the rod. They have to beat you. This is verse 14. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. So if all you speak is righteousness and wisdom, you're gonna be building. That's all you're gonna be doing, is building and edifying people and things. Whatever you speak in wisdom and knowledge towards. But the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. So if you listen to something that's foolish, or if you listen to the words of someone who is foolish, it's near destruction, because you're gonna start to try to understand what they're talking about, which is just foolishness. Like the American government ain't nothing but a whole bunch of foolishness. So if you try to understand the American, like if you try to understand it, it's just gonna make you confused, and it's just gonna destroy what common sense you do have. So I want to go to Ecclesiasticus. Because being in this society, we get distracted and we get just pulled away from things so quickly, and you got to make sure to stay focused and to stay disciplined, because it's we really close to that time. Every day. Every day I see military helicopters fly to and fro in front of my house. Every time they fly, ever since I was a kid, all the helicopters they shake my windows, and my windows been shaking more and more and more. So I know for a fact that it's World War III is like right around. Well, we're already in World War III, but it's the Cold War right now. They just doing it economically, and it's the nations are letting the dollar down, and they're just doing away with the American dollar. And that's what's gonna lead to them. Salaki, I can't. That's just gonna lead to them pushing the chip, which is Revelations. That's just gonna lead to them pushing the chip. That's gonna lead to the stock market collapsing. That's gonna lead to Yahushua coming back and saving all of us, because this isn't hell for you. I don't know why you wait for heaven, because this place is hell. Salakia, Salakia. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of the Most High, and be more ready to hear than to give sacrifices unto fools, for they consider not that they do evil. That's for them scoffers who when we're out there on the highways and byways, they come up against us, and we can give them 25 scriptures explaining how the Israelites are the only people being saved, and they can say no. Yahweh shall die for everybody. All right, you need you need to go in slavery because you're void of understanding. So you need to get beat, just like I read earlier. A rod is for the back of them that are void of understanding. So you can't understand this. That's why these Edomites got to go in slavery. So I got one more scripture. I got one more scripture, and then I'm gonna cut this off. But I just pray and hope this is edifying, because I just wanted to I pray this is edifying, because sometimes I see some of the Akim, they spirit of confusion always comes in front of us, and we just gotta make sure that we stay true to faith. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 7. But when ye pray, use vain not repetitions, as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much babbling. Salakia. For they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. So, that's cutting those Roman Catholics and all those other religions. They always do the repetitious praying, or those prayer beads. Like, they'll make a prayer on each one and slide it up. That's robotic prayer, an abomination to the Most High. He don't want that. He wants something coming from your soul. He wants to know who you are. You're supposed to have the most intimate conversations with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai only. So just remember to stay strong in the faith. Remember to always pray, and remember to just keep pushing. All right, shalom.